can we give people, this isn't new knowledge, but can we just quickly go over what his sentence was like and what his conditions were? Keep in mind, this is someone who pled guilty to this awful, awful behavior. Mm-hmm. So just keep that in mind when we talk about the royalty, I'll put it that way, that he was served up. Because when I heard about his conditions in the jail, I was like, are you kidding me?
You can't make it up.
If you want to go into that, because...
Sure. So, like we just said, he worked in that jail for 10 years. Okay, so that was his house. Whenever he first got hired on, from what I understand, Angie, who is his current wife now, she was married to someone else, and she also worked at the jail. Well, whenever he started working there, him and her ended up having an affair. Well, while they were having an affair on her husband, after they get off work every day, or while they're on work, I don't know, but he admitted that they would go into the bathroom there at the courthouse and have their little quickie.
Right.
And then, they'd go home or whatever. Well, so fast forward a little bit, she divorces her husband. They get married. And so they're working there together. And she is like top dog at the jail. So whenever he gets in trouble, she stands by her man, honey. She was standing by her man. She was not. And this is why I say I think the whole interview thing was rigged from the get-go, because she was smart enough not to talk to him without a lawyer. She said, no, thank you, not without my attorney. But Ben goes right on in there and confesses after, that was, is a setup. Anyway, so that's how they get married, or, they're together. That's their house. Mm-hmm. Collectively, that jail is.
That jail.
He gets sentenced. Now they recused, the judge recused, and they had a neighboring judge come in and sit on that case. But that doesn't mean nothing. They just do what the original judge wanted them to do. I can just imagine how that conversation goes in my head. Hey, judge, what do you want me to do with this case? Oh, well, this is what we'd like to see happen. Okay, I got you.
Right.
You think that they're not having these conversations? I would if it was my friend. If old Jenny recused herself and I was a coming in judge and she was my friend, I'd be like, hey, what do you want me to do with this? I mean, I'm just being honest.
This is just honest, yeah.
But
sure.
So he gets sentenced to 6 months in his own jail, so he didn't have to go out to a neighboring county like everybody else did. He gets to serve it with his wife downstairs. They cleared out one of the drunk tanks. They didn't give him one of the regular mats that everybody else had. And nobody in that jail had a regular mat that had any padding in it anyway. All the padding had been stripped out of them all. So all they were giving people were just a plastic shell to lay on, to keep you off of the concrete. That's it. He didn't live that way. He got an actual mattress brought in and put in his drunk tank. They put a big TV up on the screen, and they made him a trustee as soon as he got in there. Within the first week, he was a trustee status, which meant his door was never locked. Mm-hmm. He was allowed to come and go as he pleased. His wife could go in there. Yeah, he had cigarettes at the guard shack. His wife could go in there and lay down with him and sleep with him if she wanted to. Nobody would have said a thing about it.
It's like a hotel room.
Yeah, brothel.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a
Pillersdorf hit the
brothel.
nail on that.
Yeah. You know,
Head
and
on that.
the one thing that, first of all, that's all absolutely ridiculous. But the one thing that really made me be like, excuse me, was the automatic trustee.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how difficult of a process that is for a regular inmate to get to that status. And this guy who did what we just talked about like that.
The jailer, after my show started, because I know all these people.
Of course, that's why I wanted to talk to you, because you are boots on the ground.
I know them on a first name basis too.
Mm-hmm.
So this jailer messages me and is like, oh, I can't believe you'd say such a thing. Whatever I said on my show, he didn't like.
Oh, the truth?
Yeah.
The truth?
He said, you're embarrassing me. And I said, you should be embarrassed.
You should be. I mean,
you should be embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know, and he says, because I was going on about the Banfields thing, and he says, well, I take full responsibility. He said, I take full responsibility. That was my decision. He said, I made the decision. Now, this is his friend, mind you. Mm-hmm. This is his friend that has done this. So he says, he's dependable. He's trustworthy. He's reliable. Why else? Why would I not make him a trustee?
Maybe because of what he was doing that got him into here.
Yeah.
Hello.
How trustworthy is he, buddy? You know, and here's another thing. It came out in the depositions and everything. Mm-hmm. To get that job as a court security officer, you have to go take a polygraph exam.
Oh, wow.
He took the polygraph, but this just tells me that it's systemic. It's a systemic problem. It's a lot larger than just Mickey Stines and Banfield, because they knew what to do. Somebody had to tell him how to pass that. He didn't just go in and say, well, I'm going to confess and tell everything, and then not think that you're not going to get the job. Okay, but he goes in, tells everything. This is where it all came out, that he had sex with Angie because he had to tell the truth in the polygraph. This is where that information came from.
Good point.
He tells that he had had sex on the job, that he had drank on the job. Nobody's ever talked about that. Nobody ever brings up any of that. Mm-hmm. So he confesses to all of this in his polygraph exam. What goes on top of what do they send to Mickey? They send Mickey, he passed his polygraph. But Mickey never, not one time, looked underneath the cover page to see what he passed. Because he didn't lie. But nobody cared about the questions that were asked in this polygraph. So that shows me that that's a trick. It's a loophole that these people have figured out. As long as I go in there and confess to the misbehavior or the misconduct. And then if you, the interviews, you listen to them?
Oh, absolutely. It was hard to, without wanting to throw my computer across the room.
I told you, didn't I?
You did. And the interview, the interview, I know. The interview with Banfield, or not, I'm sorry, not Banfield's, with the victims. I don't remember which one. I'm sitting there listening to the officer interviewing them. And I'm like, why are you crafting your questions towards her as if you chose to do this.
Yes.
You consented to do this. Yes. Excuse me? And correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to make sure I'm giving accurate information.
You are.
They're county property. You don't have consent.
That's right.
So what are you talking about? Oh, you chose to do this. You agreed to do this. instead of being like, oh, this official in this official capacity engaged in this behavior, that should be the question. What did he do? What was he saying to you? Not victim blaming and being like, well, why would you even consider doing that? Excuse
You
me?
took the opportunity. Oh, so you saw an opportunity. This poor, dumb boy, country cornbread dummy, he flirts with you, and you saw an opportunity not to pay for your ankle monitor.
Right.
You took advantage of this poor, dumb, cornbread fed dummy.
Yeah.
Well, if he's that dumb, he don't need to be working in the courtroom. Number
Right.
one.
In an official capacity.
And let me throw you something that's really going to shock you shoes
Oh,
off. What you
please.
just said. Now the civil suit that is going through right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah. So they have dismissed Jennifer Hill's claims. She's gone. So the only one left is Sabrina Adkins. That's the only person that's left in this civil suit. And her claims barely survived. Barely survived. The judge, I'll have to send you that too, because the judge gives his opinion on whether it should be hers should be dismissed, thrown out, or go forward. And he writes this big old long thing where he thinks that it should go to the jury, and the jury should decide if she had consent, if she gave consent or not. And you can see the mindset, not just in the culture of the people. You can see the same mindset in the judge that is over this case. And the same judge that sentenced Banfield is this in the criminal case is the same judge that is sitting over the civil case. And I'm not sure if it's the civil case with Ben and Sabrina, or if it's the civil case that just came out with Judge Mullins' wife suing Mickey and his deputies, because that civil suit just was filed like last week.
Last week, yeah.
The week before. But it's
now let me ask you this. Right. Yeah. Let me ask you something. Are they throwing out Jennifer Hill's claims because she passed?
No, they threw them out for statute of limitations. Here's my other get. Ned Pillersdorf was the attorney, right? He's
representing Sabrina.
He was never the lead attorney, though. Bethany Baxter was the lead attorney, and I think she brought Ned in on it. Now, I can't speak for her. I've never spoken to her a day in my life. I have no idea. But I wonder, did she bring him on as name recognition and the fact that he practices in this region daily? So, maybe having those connections would help her. I don't know. But he comes on to the case, and it is sabotaged from the word jump.
Wow.
One of those interviews that I sent you, you can't even hear Sabrina giving her statement because you've got Ned and the other detective sitting right there beside of them the whole time. That's all you can hear. It shows how serious they took it.
I know.
Right? It shows how serious they took it. But anyway, so Ned, he's supposed to be like a crack shot attorney, right?
Right. Yeah.
He's supposed to be the best of the best. I hired him myself. I've been a client of his, so I know how he is. He's a jerk. He's a jerk. I mean, he just is. Like, he stands about 5 foot tall, and he has he has a Napoleon complex, like he talks to everybody, talks down to everybody. It's not just me. It's a that's how he treats everybody,
Sure. Yeah.
unless you're his friend or something, he might be nice to you. But the majority of the people that I've talked to that have had interactions with him came away with the same exact feelings that I did. He doesn't have a very good bedside manner. But I think that he controlled this case from the get-go, from the inside, because that was up to them to name the judge in that case, Judge Mullins, for his chambers. That was up to them to name the jail, the jailer, and Angie Fields. That was up to them to investigate. Well, not Ned personally, but it was up to them to make sure that this was investigated, that these crimes were investigated. They already had an investigation started, but they just did enough to get Ben to plead guilty to what little bit he did.
Right.
And then we're not going to, if as long as you can give us Ben on a silver platter and he pleads guilty, we won't go no further. We won't look into nobody else. I think that was one of those backroom deals.
Right.
Because at the same time, Ned was also representing our neighboring county's prosecutor who had essayed men and women. Well, I don't know about women. He's gay. He was essaying men, I know. And he was addicted to methamphetamine for the last 13 years. Extorting drugs out of these defendants. I mean, this is like this is an organized crime syndicate that has come into our criminal justice system.
It's infiltrated it.
Infiltrated. That was the word I was looking for, honey. You're so smart.